Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And today, we're gonna be talking about a very interesting story indeed. A Twitch user from California called Eric Estavio is suing the site for a cool $25 million for being exposed to overly sexual and suggestive content from various female streamers. According to his lawsuit, he suffers from depression, OCD, panic disorder, agoraphobia, and Crohn's disease, and he heavily relies on the internet for his entertainment during the COVID-19 pandemic. I don't know why I had to put have to stay home for entertainment in all caps. Like, we could read it just fine in lowercase. I feel like I'm being shouted at. This looks less like a lawsuit and more like a text from my mom when I tell her I've left the kunde on the stove for longer than 20 minutes. The suit points out that many people are quarantining themselves, including the particularly vulnerable children. That may be true for kids who are like 12 years and younger, but you cannot stop teenagers from looking for tits and ass on the internet. That's kind of like calling Kenyan politicians vulnerable because they can watch Dirty Money on Netflix. Before we dive deeper into this story, let's take a look at some background on this man. This person apparently has a history of suing tech companies for very trivial reasons in most cases. Back in 2009, he sued Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and Blizzard. And in an interview, he said he wanted to exploit the weakness of each console and show that they're not impervious to flaws. Each console has a flaw and they should fix it. I would really, really love to see this guy try that with women on a speed date. Excuse me, Mr. Organizer, sir. I'm really sorry to bother you, but like, this woman doesn't know how to cook. This one just said to me that she doesn't know how to manage her time. Excuse me, sir. I'm really sorry to bother you again, but this woman has a 0.4 KD on Overwatch. Further along on this article by Ian Gadget, he says that Estavio uses online gaming as his primary form of socialization, and he has no friends. You know what would be the funniest shit? Like, could you imagine this guy picking up chicks on GTA Online? Like, he finally hits it off with this really nice girl on voice chat, but she eventually loses interest because he suggested Clarkin Bell for their first date. I mean, it surely doesn't get any more embarrassing than kulaying bricks for being cheap in a video game. At the time this article was published, Sony had been served with summons, and Eric had a default settlement of $180,000 coming in 2 days. But then Sony responded shortly after the article was published. They responded to the summons, and I feel like they waited till the last minute just as a troll. I must have taken Eric back to waiting for the bell during literature in high school, but getting kept behind by the teacher after it rings because Gary still doesn't know what alliteration means. Apparently, Eric was feeling generous with like some of the money he was going to get from this. He said, half the money I get is going to go to God. I'm giving half the money I get to the Christian Broadcasting Network, or CBN, local churches, charities, or poor people in the street. I feel like that would have been really noble of him if he didn't do all his socializing online. Imagine the reaction from CBN's financial department once Eric asks them for their account number on Maze Bank. Eric goes on to explain how he sued Sony for $55,000 after they simply banned him for talking, and he argued that because his console was banned and he couldn't go online and socialize anymore, he suffered and even doubled his meds to cope with it. Like, I really hope this video doesn't cause him any pain and suffering, because if I get sued and I lose, I'd probably have to move to California and clean earwax out of his headset for the rest of my life. So we've looked at this guy's background, we know what he's all about, and now he's suing Twitch, as I said earlier, for being exposed to overly suggestive and sexual content from various female streamers. The lawsuit says that Eric suffers from a sex addiction because of his OCD, and that Twitch has extremely exacerbated his condition by displaying many sexually suggestive women streamers through Twitch's twisted programming and netcode. I feel like he's making Twitch sound exclusively like a promoter of lewd content like Reality Kings or Gangetone music. Actually, let's go on the Twitch homepage right now and see if we find any sexually suggestive streamers. Oh, they're streaming the NWSL on Twitch. Like, Eric would probably beat his meat to this. Some guy, another guy making beats, a guy, the same guy from before. This looks like a Valorant tournament. Another guy making beats. Like, there's no suggestive content on this homepage at all. I mean, granted, the site does suggest some of these suggestive female streamers to me from time to time, but it isn't shoving the undies down my throat like the lawsuit suggests. That sounds more like something a federal agent in America would do. The lawsuit goes on to state that there is no way for the plaintiff to filter streams they'd like to watch based on gender. He cannot filter out the women on the site. No viewer can. I cannot even begin to explain how deeply problematic such a feature would be. That's like filtering applicants for a job based on race or gender, or how many bottles of cognac you downed while in USIU. Further along, the lawsuit states that Twitch takes advantage of sexually addicted viewers by allowing them to subscribe, donate, or pay bits to these women streamers. I mean, there is some truth to that, but I feel like that's a bit disingenuous given that further along in the lawsuit, it states that Eric is following 786 female streamers and 0 male streamers. 0. Nunge. I mean, clearly, there's only one joystick he's thinking about when he hops on Twitch, and I'm sure he's not thinking about other men playing with it. That's like going to a casino to learn how to play cards, or going to a strip club to learn how to dance. It also goes on to list examples of some of these sexually suggestive female streamers that he's talking about. And even goes further, like to attach pictures of them, mostly screenshots from their streams. Some of them are harmless. Some of them are suggestive, but some of them are just like pictures from their IG, which obviously has nothing to do with Twitch. But I'm just going to blur them all out to be safe, because YouTube is just weird with these algorithms and content ID. Talking about these women being lewd on Twitch and then attaching photos from their Instagram is kind of like arguing that all hip-hop is bad, and then using Rice Gum as your reference point. He even tries to strengthen his case by pointing out that Sasha Grey, who by the way is a porn star, also streams on Twitch, and then attaches a photo of her fully clothed with a completely normal, non-sexual expression on her face. People can switch lanes and still fit in, or at the very least do a good job. I mean, The Rock did a fantastic job singing in a Disney film, and he's not gay. The suit goes on to give examples of how Twitch's lax policy enforcing has harmed the plaintiff by not filtering out these sexually suggestive women and their content. And I promise you, I didn't even write any jokes for this, because I can't even make this shit up. The plaintiff had purchased a flashlight previously, which went largely unused until Twitch. Mr. Estavillo began using this device while he watches female Twitch streamers and often ends up chafing his penis every day with the device, making it extremely painful and constant, which ends up causing redness and mild infections at the tip. Since the flashlight is electrical and also vibrates, the plaintiff therefore often has to use Neosporin on his tip to prevent necrosis. The plaintiff often stays up for hours staring at the breasts of girl streamers, which ends up damaging his retina and making his eyes bloodshot for days. Eye drops do nothing to hide his shame from his parents, and he is often questioned by people he comes into contact with as to why his eyes are so bloodshot and red, which leads to further embarrassment and isolation. You can come up with the easiest excuse for this. Just say you smoke weed all the time. Easy. The plaintiff once ejaculated on his PC monitor, causing a short circuit and a small fire within the electrical system of his gaming rig, and causing his apartment to black out temporarily. How hard does this guy come? I was about to say I want to seek this guy out for some tutoring, but then again, it feels like doing that to a woman would potentially be fatal. The suit goes on to paint Twitch as under-delivering to or outright defrauding their consumers. He begins with Twitch Turbo, complaining about being shown ads after getting banned from certain streams and having to create a new account to see their chats. I don't know whether this guy was paying attention or not, but the ability to see the chat of a stream you're banned from isn't advertised as a feature that comes with a Twitch Turbo subscription. Bro, my ex is such a fucking bitch, man. Ouch. Why is that though? This chick won't let me play with her coochie anymore just because we broke up. I mean, who does that? The suit goes on to attack Twitch Prime, accusing Twitch of false advertising for offering what he feels are mediocre games for well over $100 versus Xbox's Game Pass, which is just $9.99 a month. I mean, alongside the games, Twitch Prime is included with everything else that comes with Amazon Prime, the free deliveries, Prime Video, and everything else for just $5.99 a month. So that accusation is just straight up false. To be fair to Eric, it does go on to make a valid point on inflated view counts. That's a legit loophole with Twitch. that's been exploited by hosting streams on other sites like Reddit. So in his request for relief, he asked for a permanent ban of the streamers listed in the lawsuit as well as others, female or male, who violate Twitch's own TOS in a similar way. The only one I wouldn't have a problem banning is Alinity, because like the streamers like Dr. Disrespect recently who get banned with no clear reasons why given by Twitch, when she pretty much gets away with getting eaten out by a dog and tossing her cat over her head like flowers at her wedding. Alinity gets more preferential treatment from Twitch than young children got from Jimmy Savile. Of course, man like Eric also asked for $25 million in punitive damages to be split between himself and other Twitch Prime/Turbo subscribers, with any monies left over to be donated to both COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter charities and funds of the court's choosing. I'm sorry, that last part just feels like virtue signaling to me. It's like a rapper suing another rapper for libel because he got called a fat bitch in a diss track, and then offering to donate the damages to a charity that promotes body positivity. So as you guys can see, this is a lawsuit unlike anything I've seen or heard about before. But it's not like I read much about lawsuits anyway. You know what would be funny? Could you imagine if this guy ever happened to write a song about this whole situation? DVK. Listen. All of you Twitch thoughts are gonna get yours today. Hey, because like I have a sex addiction and Twitch does absolutely nothing to protect me from all this thoughterry. I know I have a history of being a serial suer, but I literally have no choice left. We're going to court. Chilling in my bedroom, looking for something to watch. PlayStation, Wii, and Xbox PC, those were all of my ops. Thought I'd leave this life behind and give the money to God. Now I gotta use this flashlight that I got from the shop. Chilling in my bedroom, looking for something to watch. PlayStation, Wii, and Xbox PC, those were all of my ops. Thought I'd leave this life behind and give the money to God. Now I gotta use this flashlight that I got from the shop. My psyche's been fucked up from time, it's got me stuck in the ends. I only socialize online, I never had no friends. Xbox with the ring of light, so I went to court trying to get that bread. But I'd had enough, alright, so I told myself I'd never do it again. Now decades past, go OCD and sex consumes my brain. Can't hide these girls on Twitch, they got me throwing my chips away. My dick got chafed, couldn't help myself, wanna blow her back like bait. Better give me no less than 25 million. No joke, I don't play no games. Harold. Look at the bitches I'm following. Pokemon, Linity, Christopher, Larry, 30, simping, beating, skeeting, shaking for the clout. Better not come around to my house, homie, I ain't never pulling out. Chilling in my bedroom, looking for something to watch. PlayStation, Wii, and Xbox PC, those were all of my ops. Thought I'd leave this life behind and give the money to God. Now I gotta use this flashlight that I got from the shop. Chilling in my bedroom, looking for something to watch. PlayStation, Wii, and Xbox PC, those were all of my ops. Thought I'd leave this life behind and give the money to God. Now I gotta use this flashlight that I got from the shop. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload from me. I stream on Twitch every Monday and Wednesday as well. Sometimes I struggle to be consistent on that platform, but I do always hop on whenever I have the time. I mainly play a fighting game called Tekken, but I also play other games on there from time to time. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description. Hit me up on all my socials as well, Instagram and Twitter at DavyK17. If you want to check those out, the links will be in the description. And remember, it's never that serious. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.